Hey guys, how we all doing? I'm live with some Dagon by HP Lovecraft. Now, I've got some settings going on my end. I hope the stream's going okay because um, I've had to put all the software streaming system in the back and just have the game on my screen. So if there's any issues, I do have the chat open on another device. So let me know if I need to change the sound or settings or anything like that. But a few people here today. Mr. and Mrs. Dadman and Ang. We've got the Dadmans here. How's it going, guys? Mary, good to see you, and your Muslim uncle. Good to see you as always, bro. Now, the only thing I know about H.P. Lovecraft is Cthulhu. Like, that's literally it. So, that's the extent of my knowledge. I know Dagon is one of the stories, but I don't know which one. Um, but I guess I'm gonna experience the world of H.P. Lovecraft for the first time. So let's start. Okay. Dagon's faithful interactive adaptation H.P. Lovecraft's work focused on the story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through locations along with the plot.
Okay. I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
Oh, very ominous voice. During the game, you will encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey. Others reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. Some of the trivia hidden in order to find these secrets. Focus your eyes and look for the Elder Sign. I don't know what that means, but I guess we're going to find out. You can also access all the found facts later. They will be available in the main menu. Alrighty then. Oh. Okay. First of all, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm playing in 4K, but due to internet limitations, I'm streaming in 1080p. But this game is free on Steam, by the way, so you can go and pick it up for yourself if you're on Steam. Just the base game. There are some DLCs that you can purchase, but if you have the capability to play this in 4K, I highly recommend it because it looks gorgeous. Now, without further ado.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
Okay.
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate. When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Can I interact with anything else? Oh, there's the weird symbol thing. Morphine. Morphine entered into use in the 19th century. Was routinely administered to treat severe pain during the American Civil War from 1861 to 65 and World War I to 1914 to 18. It was also sold without restrictions until... Interesting! Morphine became more popular after the invention of the hypodermic syringe. This is actually really interesting, I'm not gonna lie. Originally named it morphine after... Okay... The Greek got associated with dreams at the end of the time. At the time when Dagon was published, morphine abuse known as disease. Wow, cool. Nothing like starting a game with the thoughts of... Yes, exactly. How lovely, how quaint. Let's see what we're going to do with the ink.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider.
Ooh. Fancy. Okay, I can't move. I can just look around, but very atmospheric. Ooh. Yes, it was new development just before the
Great
Civil War.
was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation, so that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Interesting. Oh, okay, so we've got another history moment. The Huns. Huns were Central Asian nomads who established a dominion in Europe and invaded the Roman Empire in the 5th century AD. They were known as brutal, deadly warriors and masters of quick raids who also developed powerful composite bows, lassos, and early siege weapons. Oh wow. So I'm not going to read through all of it, otherwise if I read every bit of trivia, we'll be here forever. So I'll leave this for you to pause and read in your own time. Otherwise, I don't know how long this stream will be. But it is really interesting because it actually tells you about actual history and stuff like that. So forget your history lessons at school. Just play this game, and you'll be sorted. Okay, what's this bit?
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Hey Tim, good to see you, mate. Oh, okay. Do I have anything else I can interact with? No, okay, it's just that.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Okay.
Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator.
We got a genius on our hands, guys.
Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
So this seems more like an interactive, or just like a narrative adventure type thing. Can I look at anything? The moon!
The weather kept fair,
Or is that the sun
and for
on
uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
I'm getting very like Stranded Deep vibes from this game. Like, Explorer, if you're out there, don't go near the crabs, because we all know what happens when you do. But yeah, very atmospheric, very gritty. So far, I'm enjoying it. The voiceover is really good.
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue. The change happened whilst I slept.
I'd have just known that I was in a boat on the water with no idea of location. Yeah, probably same. I'd just be like, oh, pretty stars. I wouldn't be like, I'm on this half of the planet. I go here, maybe here. I'd just be like, bruh, where's land now? Crabs equals bad. Yes.
Its
Much bad.
details I shall never know.
Oh, I feel like something's building up.
For my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Oh boy. Oh shit. That's a squid. Is that a squid? Looks like a
When
squid.
at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous
Oh.
undulations as far as I could see.
Crap. Are these like Cthulhu's kids or something?
And in which my boat lay grounded some distance away.
All I know is like Cthulhu has tentacles. These things, tentacles, related? Maybe. We shall find out.
Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
Yeah, I would be too, mate. Jeez, it's very, ew. God, that's a very ominous looking eye. I think he's still alive, but he's not moving. Oh.
For there was in the air, and in the rotting soil, a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core.
Yep,
The
getting that
region was
feeling.
putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish, and of other, less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain.
Yeah, you could say that.
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity.
Oh, immensity.
There was nothing within hearing, and nothing in sight, save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
What is that? It's not like a massive cockroach or something. Oh god.
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
Oh, good lord. Okay, we've got this reality show in the UK called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And it's all about like putting you in like trials through bugs and like other dirty weird shit, like kind of like this. Although not to this grandiose scale. I would not survive that. I would not survive this world. Bugs, no, thank you. I agree. First reaction, what the fuck? Second reaction, what the fuck? Yes. And might be an isopod. I mean, yeah. Don't know, don't care. It's creepy as fuck and has many legs. Okay, now we've got a looking point. Okay, so we can see our boat. We'll go to that in a second. Oh, we can have a look at this. I guess we're going to find out what it is. Dagon seems to be inspired by Fishhead, a short novel by Irvin S. Cobb about unnatural affinities between a hybrid idiot and the strange fish of an isolated lake. Supernatural horror in literature, H.P. Lovecraft. A Lovecraft's dream about a strange island emerging from the ocean and him crawling in the ooze that covered its surface. So now we know where this, like, the inspiration for this weird ooze stuff comes from. I can't say I'm a fan of the ooze, but, I mean, ooze, that sounds like a Doctor Who enemy. Oh wait, no, that's the ood with the ball things. Oh, I'm going off tangents here. Back to the scary game. Oh, that was a creepy noise.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position.
Okay, and what theory is that? You're on something, you're dehydrated, and you need water. Tell us, boy.
Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
I'm not sure. Like, yes, volcanic activity, but, like, if you're adrift at sea and you come into contact with this, and that's the thing you come to your conclusion, volcanic activity brought the sedimented land from the bottom. That mountain is moving. Why is that mountain? Oh Lord. No. Get me out of here. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. Well, I'm not a celebrity. Maybe one day we'll see. I'm digressing way too much.
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
Okay.
Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Okay. I mean, they're pretty much all dead things. Can I feel like there should be like another point. Well, speaking of dead things, I
For
found dinner.
several hours I sat
Don't know
thinking
how
or
appetizing
brooding
it
in
will
the
be.
boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens.
Okay, thanks, boat. We had a show like that. We would do things like put a head in a terrarium type thing and pour cockroaches into it. I know. I think I know the show you're on. Fear Factor. I think it was Fear Factor. I remember when I was a lot younger when I went to like one of the I think Disney or Universal. There was like a Fear Factor live, and then one of the audience members, their heads got put in a cage thing, and they shoved a bunch of scorpions or spiders or something, and I was like, bruh, why you do this? I would say extreme dehydration before volcano. Exactly, missus. Like, how you're dehydrated, and your first thought. I mean, I suppose you'd be hallucinating. You'd be like, "Oh, volcano."
As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for travelling purposes in a short time.
Okay, okay. I
That
just want to see
night I
Cthulhu.
slept but
Bring
little,
on Cthulhu.
and the
He's
next
the only
day I
thing I
made for
know that
myself a
from.
pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
Okay. Right. Hello, weird tentacle thing.
On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
Oof. What is that? That's like a worm thing with like. I swear, does almost every creature in Lovecraftian myths have like a tentacle of some form?
The odour of the fish
I
was
don't know.
maddening,
Let me know.
but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
Okay. So are we gonna go on our travels along the ooze? You're gonna tell me what this thing is, game? Okay, thank you very much. I love the narration and voice acting. Yeah,
All
me
day
too.
I forged steadily
Oh,
westward,
oh
guided by a
no.
faraway hummock which rose higher than any
Oh
other elevation on the rolling
dear.
desert.
What is that? That looks absolutely vile and disgusting, and no thank you. The heck is that on the left? Ew. Oh dear. Oh my. This game is definitely visually something, I do have to say. Okay, oh, poor whale. Save the whales. Oh, is this see? Tentacles! And that looks like a weird crab leg. So we got crabs with tentacles now. Crab equals bad. Just like earlier. Oh, okay, okay. We're going on a journey.
That night,
More
I
tentacles.
encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
The hummock? Do you mean hammock? What's a hummock? Oh, I guess we're going to find out what this tentacle creature is. Cthulhu! My boy. The creator of the Cthulhu mythos and the fictional underwater city of how the hell? Relia? Was convinced. Look, I think that's conceived, convinced. I don't bloody know. It's a word, English. Use it, Ash. God. That life could not exist at the bottom of the ocean because the water pressure would make it uninhabitable. Today we know that the darkest depths of the ocean are home to many peculiar organisms. The deepest dwelling fish I've discovered so far, the Mariana snailfish, can live about 8,000 meters, more than 26,000 feet, below the ocean's surface in never-ending darkness and hellishly crushing pressures, hundreds of times stronger than those found at sea level. Upon glancing at the modern photos of deep-sea creatures such as anglerfish and fangtooth or viperfish, and their truly Lovecraftian characteristics, it's hard not to find some irony in this. So what you're saying is my boy Cthulhu could be real. So we're going to get to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. We're going to find like a little cave or something. And my boy Cthulhu is going to be in like a little cave at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Bruh. Okay. So we're going to have like some world-ending event, and Cthulhu is going to come out the Mariana Trench and save us all. I'm calling it now. Hummock is a hillock, knoll, or mount. Oh, okay.
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound,
Why has
which
that
turned
got
out to be
lights?
much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
Here's the hummock. I mean, are these creatures got LEDs now? I'm just waiting for the RGB to just blind me.
An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface.
Okay.
Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill. I know not why my dreams were so wild that night.
All the controllers vibrating.
Ere
I'm playing
the
with the
waning
controller as
and
well.
fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain.
I think there are so many aquatic creatures that we will never know about. Very true. Loch Ness Monster is real. Calling it now. Still alive.
I was
Don't at me,
awake
bro.
in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more. Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again.
Okay.
And in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy. Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset.
Okay.
Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
I believe the Loch Ness Monster is real. Yes, missus. Yes. We need more, like, Nessie gang coming in strong, okay? Where's the... Oh, here. Is this our little bag?
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon.
Oh boy.
Whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine. I felt myself on the edge of the world.
There's very big words in the narration here. I feel smarter just listening to them.
Peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night.
Oh boy.
Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost.
Is this kind of stuff that is what in the Lovecraft stories, like this level of speech, this level of grandiose, the ominence, like the on the edge of your seat to find out what's going on? Because as I've already said, I haven't read any of the Lovecraft books.
And of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness.
Oof.
As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
Well, he mentioned Satan. I'm half expecting like Satan to rise out of the canyon with like Lil Nas X just like twerking on the side to be like, "Saw, dude."
Ledges and outcroppings of rock
Oh,
afforded
boy.
fairly easy
Whoa,
footholds
dude,
for a
careful, don't
descent.
fall. I love older books that use multisyllabic words.
Whilst
Syllabic.
after a
See,
drop of only a
you're
few
confusing me
hundred
now.
feet, the declivity became very gradual.
Ooh. Oh, controls vibrating again. What are we gonna see?
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze,
We
I
have a
scrambled
structure.
with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath,
Okay.
gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated.
Big words, much smart.
All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me. An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Hello? Are we gonna see like a bunch of little baby Cthulhu's running around? Like, Father, my boy Cthulhu, is that you? Is that your house?
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself.
Okay.
But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Yeah, same, dude. I get you, bro. Guess it's just
For
this.
despite its enormous magnitude, and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith.
Wow, hold on, genius. Don't know if I would have examined it up close. Yeah, to be honest, like to start with, I'd be like, I'd keep my distance.
Whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures.
I mean, bro, you're not wrong. Like, that could have been like
and frightened,
a religion
yet not
of
without
a bygone
certain
era.
thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Don't touch the butt. Is he gonna touch the butt? Nemo reference there for anyone wondering.
The moon, now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm.
Oh, there's like weird symbols. Oh, there's a boy Cthulhu.
And revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions, and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the across the chasm. The wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures.
Oh boy. I feel like something big is coming.
The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me, and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books.
CPU, computer only. Your guess is as good as mine. As far as I'm aware, big rock, old writing.
Consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like.
I've just realised this guy who's narrating, he sounds like an off-brand Liam Neeson. That might just be me, but let me know what you guys
Several
think.
characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world,
Oh, that's the shit in the Mariana Trench.
but whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Ooh. We got another lore bite. Dagon contains many themes and storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later works, such as telling the story through carvings. At the Mountains of Madness, the Nameless City. Is that another story of his? Journals and Creatures Notes. Shadow Out of Time, the Haunter of the Dark. Islands Emerging from the Ocean, Call of Cthulhu. Oh, okay, so these must be his other works. Or fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies. Migo and the Whisperer in Darkness. It's also considered the origin of the popular Cthulhu mythos. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also conclude in a manner similar to Dagon, but let's skip the details in order to not spoil the ending. Thank you for not spoiling the ending.
Plainly
Much
visible across
appreciated.
the intervening water, on account of their enormous size, were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a doré. I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men, though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto.
Are we gonna get to see them? Are they gonna be like animated? That'd be
Or
cool if
paying
we can.
homage at some monolithic shrine, which appeared to be under the waves as well.
Wait. So these sea people were like worshipping this shrine thing, while it was under the
Of
ocean.
their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail,
It's Liam's niece's brother,
for
maybe.
the mere remembrance makes me grow faint. Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer.
Ooh. Okay, this looks cool.
They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips, glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background.
Right.
For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself.
That was the whale we saw earlier. Wait, was it the whale we saw earlier? Maybe. Could have been. We're gonna see this guy try to kill us as well.
I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe.
Why do I get a feeling that they're just not, though?
Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born. Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me.
Whoa, hold up. Cast what reflections on the silent channel before me? Should I be expecting to see rainbows right now? Like, dude. He tends to dismiss the stuff he doesn't really want to deal with. Well, yeah, don't we all?
Then, suddenly, I saw it.
You saw what? Tell me, boy. What'd you see? Oh, something's gonna
With
come out
only
there.
a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Oh boy. Oh! What?
Loathsome. It darted like a stupendous monster of
What the
nightmare,
fuck is that?
about which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds.
Yeah, certain measure sounds alright, jeez. Is he gonna... Is that one of those people that he thought was
then.
gods or something?
Of my frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat,
Okay, back to the boat. Outrun the thing. Come on, dude. Let's go. Safe haven at the boat. Come on. That's not a sled yet.
I believe
Are
I
these gonna
sang
start
a
moving
great
as well?
deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Well, that's not good. Come on, back to the boat.
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat.
The boat!
At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods.
Right, okay.
When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital.
Wait, what?
brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean.
Okay.
In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention.
Yeah, because if you go and tell any random normal person that you were adrift and you went on an ooze plane of like a bygone era, saw a monolith, saw a massive creature coming out of the water, they'd look at you and think you go mad.
Of
Straight,
any land upheaval
straight to
in
the
the
mental
Pacific,
institute.
my rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Oh, okay, so he did tell them. Right. Oh, that's a lot of words, much words. Lovecraft was a prominent figure in the world of amateur journalism, was he? He dabbled in journalism? Cool. In 1915, he started publishing his own journal called The Conservative, which included political and social commentary, poetry, short stories, and literary criticism written by him and other authors. So he was like what is it? The New York Times, the main. He was the media outlet of the time then. Howard was skilled wordsmith, but he also took criticisms to heart, which resulted in a decision to step away from writing poetry and concentrate on weird fiction again. So basically, he looked at the comment section and of his work, and it was like, no, I can't deal with this. For the first time since his teenage years, Dagon, published in 19... It's over 100 years old. Bruh. Is one of the short stories written during that period. In this example, excerpt from The Conservative, the master of horror fiction explains his attitude towards warfare and the idea of world peace. Okay, I don't know how his opinions would fare in this day and age. Why any sane human being can believe in the possibility of universal peace is more than the Conservative can fathom. Should the entire civilized world agree simultaneously to disarm one or more nations, would undoubtedly retain secret armaments, and at the proper time take advantage of their more altruistic and less astute contemporaries in a wild career of conquest against unarmed victims. Wait a minute. This boy, our man Lovecraft, he was writing this 100 years ago, and he got the shit right. Like, dude, no country is or ever can be above warfare until the basic impulses of the human animal shall have miraculously changed. Oh my. Oh, that's not creepy at all, is it?
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist
Okay.
and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Okay. Dagon or Dayan was the main deity of the Philistines, worshipped throughout the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word Dagon was common noun for grain. The rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war conquests. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in a Syrian poem and an underworld prison warder in one of the Babylonian Wow, okay, that's cool. He's often mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretation of his name, as in Hebrew, the word dag means fish. In H.P. Lovecraft's work, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, a humanoid race with fish traits that resides in the oceans. He's worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. What? So is that the weird fish person that we saw? Is that one of these esoteric order of Dagon acolytes. Weird fiction either eschews or radically reinterprets ghosts, vampires, werewolves, and other traditional antagonists of supernatural horror fiction. Wikipedia. Yeah, very true, missus. Where are we looking now? Hello? Ah, over here.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
So basically, he was scared to tell him because he thought the other person was going to think he was batshit crazy. August Derleth and the Cthulhu myth. Oh, here we go. Of Man Cthulhu. August Derleth was an American writer and anthologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works through his company, Arkham House. Arkham Asylum, Batman, is there a link? Who knows? Although they greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's works after his death, he's surrounded by numerous controversies. Well, however you want to pronounce that is up to you. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine. Derleth was a devout Catholic to the Cthulhu mythos. Interesting. Which contrasted with Lovecraft's view of the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's works often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It's also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu mythos was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. Interesting. The plot thickens. We're going to find at the clock. That's a very historic looking statue, to say the least. So we're just going to like walk around and stuff. Alright, he just went to the clock for no reason.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease, and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
So he's a bit of a druggie then, eh?
So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Oh, okay. He's on a self-delete path. Lovecraft and tobacco and alcohol. Oh, he's a bit of an alky then, eh? Lovecraft hated tobacco. Okay, maybe not then. Well, that's tobacco. We'll see about alcohol. Even though he used to smoke when he was 12? What? He used to smoke when he was... in order to look and feel like an adult. In his correspondence with a friend, Reinhard Kleiner, he claims that he quit as soon as he started wearing long pants. What? 12? He also had a very strong opinion about alcohol, as evidenced by his letter to Zelia Brown, dated 13th February 1928. As for the matter of drinking, I have never tasted intoxicating liquor and never intended to. Good lad. Good lad. Plus 10 points respect in my books. Having a strong aesthetic disgust and anything which blunts or what was that? Coarses the delicate natural poise, I don't know, many big words, of the evolved human intellect and imagination. Drinking excited my personal repugnance, hence I don't drink. Let the herd do what they will. I am rather in favour of prohibition. The prohibition of any antisocial force, as well as any other. Source: the spirit of revision. Lovecraft's letters to Zelia. Brown, Reed, Bishop, H.P. Lovecraft. Ah. Oh, damn. Okay, so looks like he's gonna self-delete now. Don't do it!
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm, a mere freak of fever, as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply.
Prohibition's a hell of a thing. That it is, Dad, man. That it is.
I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind.
Okay.
Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
Oh boy. New York's gonna get overrun by these weird sea creatures. Lady Liberty, save yourself.
The end is near. I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
Okay. Do we open the door?
It shall not find me.
Oh, not like this.
God, that hand!
Oh, not like this.
The window! The window!
Well, is that it? So we okay. Thank you for playing. We hope you enjoyed immersing yourself in our little pool of cosmic horror. We'd appreciate it if you took a moment to rate Dagon. Okay, all right. These are the DLCs. Excellent. Is that it? So my man just jumps out the window. Oh boy. Oh jeez. Well, that was very short-lived. Hang on a minute. Let me see about these DLCs. The stream is gonna. I guess that was by yeah, pretty much. Hang on. The stream's gonna like. Okay, I'm back. Well, it was a lot shorter than I expected. It's only about an hour long, like about 50 minutes, if that. I mean, can we go back and read some of the other stuff? Trivia. Oh, we didn't get all of them. Interesting. The journalist. Well, I guess. Wait, what's the Tales of Herring Lake? Okay then. Well, I guess that was it. Well, I guess we'll keep it very short and quick and sweet. So, thanks everyone for joining. That was Dagon by H.P. Lovecraft. It was a lot, not quite what I expected. I thought it would be more interactable. But it looks like it was basically just a visual novel in the world of H.P. Lovecraft. It almost felt like an interactive audiobook. Yeah, it basically kind of did. But it was very well made. The narration was great. Story was great. Graphics, game world was great. Nothing I can like fault it for, to be honest. But well, I mean, maybe I might do the DLCs later on at some point. But yeah, not much more I can say, to be honest. Oh, I'm quite bummed that it was that short. Maybe if I'm up to it, I'll stream something a bit later today. But I doubt it. I'll probably just on Fortnite with the with some people, and then you might find me over there. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, the usual stuff. Turn the bell for notifications. If you want to see me stream at other places, I co-host for Amanda on Amanda Gillen Presents over on Twitch. On that's usually on Tuesdays. On Thursdays, I'm on the Global Geek Gang with Clobbering Times. On Fridays, I play Minecraft with Explorer of the Multiverse. On Saturdays, I'm on the Week in Geek with T-Shirt Historian. And eventually, when they start again, I'm Pop Culture Archivist on Sundays, and I'll be on streams here, there, and everywhere. If you want to follow me on socials, I'm on Twitter. I'm most active on Twitter. Also on Instagram, Parler, and Minds. Links to all the channels and all my socials will be in the description. But other than that, thanks again for watching, guys. It's been great, and I'll see you all in the next stream. Bye.